As I look at the still life in front of me, I need to figure out what to create so that I fill the whole page. So before I actually get into putting pen to paper, I actually need to compose a composition that fills the rectangle well, makes it so that I'm not wasting my time, and gives me the opportunity for the greatest success based upon what I want to show and making it really economical in terms of the overall composition. So a couple things I want to do. First is we have a couple ways to look through a lens and through a frame, similar to the way that we would use our cell phone, and there are these as well to see what we see. But right now, before we even get to this may help us later on as we're actually composing finally, and like more specifically our composition, that might help us with some of the details. But I like to work through some thumbnail sketches. So when I see the still life in front of me, I am going to draw what I see, and it's going to be very quick. And yes, I can still use some of those measuring techniques that I used before, but it's not so necessary. We want to get the general ideas, where the lights and darks as they fall on the composition, and where do other things sit. So I'll speed this up just a little bit so you can see what I'm looking at as I'm drawing. Now you'll also notice that once I have this composition set and ready to go, I can firm it up a little bit more with exactly what I want to see. I actually drew more than I needed, so that gives me an opportunity to pare back to only showing what's most dynamic. I don't want to try to draw everything in front of me, so I will maybe give myself some opportunities for seeing some things and how the diagonals operate, how the lights and darks operate. So I actually have a couple options for compositions in front of me. So I think I've narrowed down my composition to this one. And from here, it's actually only going to be a reference because now I know that I have probably the right ingredients and I can fine tune it as I work to my larger drawing. And so with the larger drawing, I'm going to very lightly sketch with my pencil the same way we did with the value scale. And then from there, I'm creating a lot of information on the page so that I can insert the colors the same way we did with the demo box. And so here you can see that I have drawn lightly on this sheet of paper. And now once I have that, it's all going to be about what I see in front of me. I'm not going from my little thumbnail sketch, I'm actually going from life. So the amount of time I'm spending looking at the still life is really important. And there's a reason why they're all boxes. Part of the reason is because the brown color of the box, it plays off of the other one, so you can see, oh, that brown is definitely darker than this or lighter than this based upon the light source. So that's how I'm working, and let's look to see how I might continue this drawing through the whole process of going from the first marks to the end. And you can see that I've started with the dark, because I find that those are the easiest areas to see if I kind of polarize my eyes a little bit, but also it gives me the flexibility to draw a hard line. That's the only time that I want us to have hard outlines, because you won't see them once you've filled in all of the dark spaces. As I move on to other values, that's when I'm going to have to be very careful and very sensitive with how I move my pen towards the edge. You want to be as specific as possible, going edge to edge to edge to edge. I've gone with the scribble here, and I will have to use the scribble throughout my drawing. I couldn't change midway through to, let's say, a dot or grass strokes. Once you've made the move and made the decision to make one kind of mark, you have to use that mark throughout the whole drawing. So I'm just going to keep moving through, and ultimately, if I speed this up, you will see how this drawing comes to resolution.